What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special holiday edition of NYJF TV. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Serkin, joined by Fireman Ed and Rob Carpenter. Guys, it's been so long since we've been in studio, and this team is just... I don't even know where to start with this team, but I guess we'll start with the head coach because everybody's screaming for him to be fired already at this point. Do you place all the blame on what has happened in 2016 on the head coach, or do we place more of the blame on the players who appear to have quit at this point? Ed, I'll start with you, man.
Well, I really don't want to go through another head coach. With that being said, I don't want to go through another head coach because they draft these two quarterbacks, these kids, all right, and now you're going to bring them to another system. So we're never going to see what we have because that's the most important position on the field is the quarterback position until you get that settled. So now that's my reason why I don't want him to go. But what's gone on in that locker room, how he's lost that locker room, and more than anything is he's a defensive coach. And how in these 2 years that he's here, he hasn't brought any of his guys in. None. He's brought nobody in. Not one guy did he have from Arizona or anywhere that he goes. It's been rookies that they drafted, and it's the same guys that have been here for quite some time.
Does that fall on him or does that fall on McCagnon?
I think a little of both. Absolutely, a little of both. But I just think that they're not playing for him. I think that there's definitely there's definitely a lot going on. And I will begin with Sheldon Richardson. He will be the first one that. Well, I want him gone. I mean, this isn't something new. This isn't something new. I mean, him just now with Snapchats and all. I mean, he's just got his head everywhere but where it's supposed to be. Now, does he play hard? Absolutely. But how hard does he really play when he's got 1.5 sacks? So how really hard are we playing? Yeah. I mean, I'm
you would think
I'm disgusted with a lot of things. It's not just him. There's plenty to go around.
And you would think working for the contract you'd have a little bit better judgment, but that's beside the point. Rob, what do you think, man?
There's blame to go everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not just you can't pinpoint coach, you can't pinpoint GM, can't pinpoint players. This year it was a whole organizational thing, and it started in the off season. The whole thing with Fitz, and then the transition from Fitz not being here to Gino was going to be the quarterback, back to at the last minute going back to Fitz. That just threw a lot of disarray into the whole organization. And it just festered on into when the season started. As me and Ed were just talking off camera, I said, from Kansas City, things were going downhill from that point on. And it just, once the ball got rolling, you weren't going to stop it. And things were just going to be happening. And for the simple fact that the team is not winning now, every little thing is magnified. And as we see, every little thing is magnified. Things that were going on last year because the team was winning, same thing goes on now, and it's just blown up all over the place. You're talking about Sheldon. If this team was in the playoff race right now and that Snapchat video came out, even though the words that were said were incorrect, so it made the media go hullabaloo over everything.
Of course, yeah.
If that was last year, nothing would have been said. The Snapchat would have just faded into the background and the team would have just kept going on and nobody would have been, on bowls behind about what he said or didn't say to
I feel
Sheldon.
like it wasn't so much the Snapchat as it was this being the 4th or 5th thing that has gone on.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. If this was last year in the middle of a playoff race, nothing would be magnified right now. And as players and everybody knows, winning heals everything and winning shields a lot of things. So the way things are going on right now, man, you just could see that it was going to happen. As far as making a coaching change, I don't think a coaching change should be made because we'll just fall right back into the abyss of the non-consistent ways that this team has had with coaching staffs. 2-3 years here, 4 years there, and then another change is made.
Right.
Another GM is gone.
He can't.
And players are in and out. There's no consistency at all. Has this been a terrible year for Bowles and the things that he's done? Of course.
Yeah.
Compared to his first year? Of course. Hopefully, like players, as they say, with him being a new head coach, he'll learn from everything that's going on this year, take what he can as far as the negatives go and put them to some of the things that went on his first year. And hopefully, if he's still here next year, he puts together a different program. But as you were saying, he hasn't brought in any of his players. I just think he and McCagnon were here and we're saying, there's good talent on this team already. So they're trying to actually just fester this talent that's here and groom this talent that's here. And some of the guys that actually were with him in Arizona, those guys aren't. Some of those guys that were let go aren't even in the league right now. So, you would think that he would know whether those guys would actually be able to fit in the system or not.
He's got to get players in here. He's
For
got
the
to get
most
other
part,
players in here.
We've all been defending Bowles all season, but at this point, all of his in-game situation, like the way he's managing some of these situations, the field goal in the fourth quarter, down by 24 points. These are things that the fans in New York, we're not stupid. We see right through that, his tough guy attitude that he tries to portray with the players, and then he lets them walk all over him. It's not going to fly here.
The one thing I see is as different from me coming out of the locker room. You guys will see it as the players walking all over Bulls. I don't see that. No, not at all.
Do you think they respect him?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, because if they didn't, you would hear things said totally different. Guys are not going to hold back if they don't respect the coach.
Okay.
They'll be politically correct in most things that they say, but if you don't respect the coach, you'll see a lot of different attitude. You'll see a lot of different things said. And from a couple of weeks ago, and it slips my mind, who actually said it was, I think it might have been Mo, or it could have been Reeves, who said that all the players in the locker room actually do respect Bulls.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Because
I think
of the fact
that too.
Yeah, because of the fact that he actually it was Brandon. The fact that we don't see what he's saying in front of the team. We only see from the outside what he's saying in front of the media. He's not going to say everything that he says in front of the team to the media. No way. That's not going to happen. No coach is going to do that. And you look at Belichick, when he sits up in front of the media, he's answering a question, pinpoint, yes, no, that's it. You don't see what he says to the team, but you get the sense that the team actually respects everything that he says. He's got that program going on over there, and the guys answer questions just like he does. But with Sheldon right now, it seems like he's going off the rails. Man, it's just a different time. And I had this conversation with Connie Carver the other day on Twitter. It's just a different time. You just got to go with the flow with the way players are nowadays. Back in my day, there was no Snapchat. There was no social media. So guys would actually, you would think, come before a game, guys would actually sit in their lockers and be paying attention to a game plan. Sometimes music might be playing in the locker room, but pre-game, it was all just business. Nowadays, it's not that way because guys are brands now. So guys are actually doing it. You see pre-game warm-ups. Guys out there wearing different cleats, wearing different things just to get their brand out there. It's just a totally different time nowadays, man. And social media is part of the time. So you just got to go with the flow. These guys don't mean anything where they're saying that they're not into a game. These guys are into a game. Because if you watch Sheldon on the field, this dude is going 100 miles an hour every play.
No, he is.
But the stats aren't there, so guys actually saying, well, he's not giving it his all. But then again, you still don't know the scheme that they're doing. He could be doing everything that the coaches ask him, and if he's not getting sacks, the fans are going to say he's not playing well.
I just believe that the scheme, they don't like the scheme. I believe I believe for sure him and Mo Wilkerson do not like this game.
Because I think it's actually a run-stop scheme first, rather than go with
that was seen 10 weeks ago. You could see it. So
I just think it's a run-stop scheme first, where they have it, and the guys that were up until a couple of weeks ago, they were basically tops in the league and stopping the run.
I mean, these guys.
But the way Bowles actually did it when he was in Arizona, he blitzed a lot, and now the blitzers just aren't getting there. So the scheme is just.
There's just so many guys just shit in the bed. I mean, Revis goes south, Mo Wilkerson goes south, Calvin Pryor goes south, David Harris is down to the last. His last years, if this not his last year. I mean, you just pinpoint guys. Then you have the young guys that are the studs. They're still young. They're still not right there. So it's a mess. It's a mess.
So having said all that, how do you think McCagnon is going to go about fixing all the problems that we have? Because I agree with you. I don't think Todd Bowles is going to get fired. Is it a simple matter of just changing offensive and defensive coordinators? Do you have to clean sweep the locker room and just get a whole new voice there? I mean, what do you think has to be done moving forward in the offseason?
Well, he's got to figure out who who's going to be there, and who's your players? Who's the guys that are going to step up? Canizaro had a good article today in the Post today about the two kids, Lee and Leonard Williams. Lee's a little young yet. I mean, Leonard Williams, I could see starting. He's going to be in his third year. I mean, you could start right there. Me personally, I would be sitting down with. You're not getting rid of Mo Wilkerson. It's not happening. There's nowhere for him to go. You paid him. I would be sitting down with him. The first thing I'm doing is I'm sitting down with him. As soon as the season's over, we got to have a long talk here. Come on over. We got to gather. You are a leader. You got to become a leader. I mean, he doesn't have any choice. He needs to be a leader. They were expecting that. That's why they gave him the contract. They were expected that. They did not expect him to turn around and be late for meetings and moping over there in the corner, sitting on the end of the bench. I mean, I do believe that he might be hurt. I think that he still might have lingering effects from that injury last year. Because it's not the same player. It's not the same player. And it's so frustrating. It makes me nuts. I look at it and I'm like, Sheldon Richardson plays hard, but he's also, listen, as hard as he plays, you can't tell me he doesn't go off the rails. He slashes in when he's supposed to have containment. I mean, how many times have we seen him slash in when he should have containment there and they go right around him? I mean, how many times can we do? Then they play him at linebacker where he's out of position. Now he's getting nuts because he don't want to be playing there, which I get. So it's just a whole bunch of things going on right now. It's craziness.
It is a lot. It's going to be interesting.
To see who's going to be left.
With the defense, especially exactly. To see
He's a defensive coach. This is his whole right. I mean, this is where his bread and butter is.
It is, but he's.
We don't know who the quarterback is. I mean,
he's the head coach too, so he can't actually focus all of his time in that aspect. So he's delegated that time to the defensive coordinator, but he should be noticing what is actually going on. Sheldon Richardson in those formats where he's actually playing outside linebacker or actually even inside linebacker, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think he still has that system in him from when he was in Arizona. He could take some of those guys and do exactly that, and you could get pressure on a quarterback with those schemes. But yeah, you're correct. I think every now and then Sheldon gets a little frustrated and he's like, man, I'm just going to get a quarterback. And
you can see it.
You see it every now and then where it's like, I'm tired of this, gap scheme that I have where I'm actually just trying to clog up this gap for this run. Forget that. But in the same token, he's one of the guys that you actually see if a play goes by him, he's hustling down the field.
Do you think he's going to be here?
Yeah, I do.
You think he's going to be here next year?
I actually do. Because I don't think there's going to be a team that actually is going to.
They're going to give him away. They're going to give him a 4th round pick.
I don't know how you can justify bringing him back at this point.
I just don't think there's a team that's actually going to
take him.
Pony up.
So you think they'd have to release him?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think this team's going
to
pony up a choice or anything like that.
Or something for him.
That'd be crazy. But if that's the case, if the Jets actually go out there and say he's available for a 4th round choice, a lot of teams are going to take that. But I just can't see them doing that.
No,
I seriously can't.
If he's a cancer in that locker room, why not? It's addition by subtraction.
I just don't think he is. I don't think he's a cancer in the locker room. I really don't. That's just something that's looked on from the outside. I really don't think he's a cancer in the locker room because
you don't think he has a problem with like Brandon Marshall and when they were going at. I'm telling you, there's a lot going on.
That happens all the time, man. There's guys that actually go at each other all the time. You see it.
But
what just happened in the Denver Broncos locker room? Defense got so frustrated with the offense was going on. And it happens.
I was thinking of you.
It happens all the time.
I said, yeah.
It happens all the time. You get an offensive team that just nuts. Yeah, because you have an offense that where they just won the Super Bowl. They're coming off a Super Bowl win. The defense is great, and the offense
Brady only
got
16 points.
The offense isn't producing. And these guys get tired of actually being on the field. They're on the field so much, and they're keeping the team.
I get that.
And the offense can't score. It's the same thing that was going on here. You saw it in Kansas City, like I told you. I saw it in Kansas City with Mo. I saw it with Sheldon. These guys are like, look, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, but who's going to be the leader? Who's going to be the leaders? Because is Sheldon Richardson Sheldon Richardson is not going to be the leader.
I'm not saying Sheldon is a leader.
He's not going to be.
Sheldon is a vocal guy. Because he
can play.
He's hustling.
He can play.
So he has the right to call out anybody who's not hustling. And he did.
There's got to be more stuff going on in there, man. I'm telling you, there's I don't know if everybody likes one another.
In
I
my opinion,
yeah,
it was the quarterback thing.
quarterback.
And it was the quarterback thing from the very beginning of training camp.
Yeah.
All off season,
Yeah.
Fitz wasn't here. Fitz wasn't in the plans. They
Right.
weren't going to pay Fitz. So all off season, you had Gino and Petty.
Right.
And then when Hack was able to get in and do some of the OTA stuff, that was it. So that was supposed to be it going into the season. And right at the last minute, Fitz is back. So put a little. I think it put a little damper on what was going on in the locker room. And once the season started and things didn't start out too well, it just festered right.
I'll tell you what. I personally thought Petty played pretty well. What I seen of him, especially in the first half, I didn't think he played bad, man. I thought he made some nice reads. He killed a couple plays. He got that touchdown on it, killing the play, and he seen the man-to-man, and he went with it. I thought he threw some nice balls to Brandon Marshall. Brandon didn't come down with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the kid didn't play bad at all. I actually seen something from him. I actually thought he showed me a little balls, man. I was like, I like what I'm seeing because he's a big boy, first off, which is, in this league, he showed that he can take a hit.
Yeah.
He got pummeled.
7.5.
It was nice to see Wesley Johnson today at least admit that he snapped the ball early. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Later on this afternoon, he said he snapped the ball. It's nice for him to take responsibility. He did. It was accountable. They usually don't,
Yeah.
And he said it was on me. Now he got crushed. So right there, I enjoy that he's
It
a
lets you
big
know
boy.
Petty is actually a guy who will probably get a lot of respect from his little antic on himself when he
Right.
did the little Instagram post about getting crushed, basically.
Yeah, right.
So, he had a little fun
Maybe
with it,
maybe they're
and
building something there.
So while we're on
This is
Petty-
what you got to hang your hat on.
Are you
know?
comfortable at this point? I know we've only seen him for a couple of games, but would you be comfortable with him and Hackenberg going into next season as your 1 and 2 quarterbacks?
Well, really, right now you got no choice.
Exactly.
Because
You have no choice, but, yeah, I
Petty's
wanna see
basically a rookie. He didn't play last year. He's basically a rookie learning everything on the fly right now. And from last week playing against Miami, Miami's a potential playoff team. And
Good
the way
defense.
he hung in there for the time that he was actually in the game until he got crushed, that it said a lot about what he possibly could have going forward.
I thought he was he played well. Did you think he played well? Or?
Yeah, because actually
Yes,
what you would want
I
to
did.
see from him at this point is that he's actually getting better week to week, and that every game is not going to be the same. And every team doesn't play the same defense. You just want to make sure that he actually is comfortable with seeing the reads that he actually makes.
He's building a little confidence.
Yeah,
along the way.
and getting confidence in himself. The team getting confidence in himself. We already know who his favorite target is, and his favorite target has been Robbie Anderson since the preseason. And
go together.
it's helping him out. Petty likes to throw the ball deep. Robbie can get deep.
Robbie's got to put some weight on.
It'll come. I don't think
Better
it's
get
gonna
in the
be,
gym.
I don't think it's going to be. He's not that guy. It's going to be
Better
200
start,
pounds.
you better start lifting.
Hey, it's
gonna
not
be that
stopping
guy.
him from getting open.
Yeah,
though.
he's going to be that guy.
It's not stopping
He's
him.
got to break a few tackles.
No, he does.
He goes right down.
Goes down the sidelines, and he's going to be catching those deep balls. That's Robbie Anderson's game. He's not going to be that guy that's coming over the middle, breaking tackles. Taking it 60 yards from breaking 2 or 3 tackles. That's
Well, I
not
was
his-
a little
that's not his
excited
game.
about those couple of guys. There are some things. I mean, you also get Brandon Shell, who showed a little something.
Exactly, and I was just
I
gonna
mean,
get
they
into
were
that.
getting a little help, but
The
I mean,
O-line
these are
guys are
guys
coming
that
along.
you know what I mean. You're starting to see a little. I
That's
like
the
what
thing
I'm
going
saying.
here.
I think Brian Winters needs to be.
The
Makes you
O-line-
wonder why we didn't see this weeks ago.
The O-line needs to get cohesive, and it seems like that's actually coming along right now. If Petty can stay healthy, he'll get confidence behind the O-line that he has. The offense is actually a young group. If you look at it, Powell's a young guy. Petty's young. Robbie Anderson, Jalen Marshall,
Winters.
Quincy Enunwa.
That's the thing that's driving fans nuts is that you had Fitz, who they left in way too long, obviously. You got Bilal Powell, who's just finally now starting to get legitimate reps. You got so many players, like we talked about with Sheldon, being misused, not being in the right position. This is what's driving fans nuts about Todd Bowles, not the 4-10 record, just the way he's managing this team.
Some of that is when you look at the defense and the offense. The coordinators themselves are the ones who actually are, for the most part, making the substitutions. And for whatever reason, Gailey just wasn't on Powell's bandwagon. You guys know from the beginning of when we started this, You know, I was on Powell's bandwagon saying he should be the starter.
And there was such a difference last year when
And,
he was in
yeah.
the lineup and when he was out.
He's a guy who, if he can stay on the field, I think that was part of the problem last year. You know, he got nicked up. But coming into the season, he's not a guy who has a lot of publicity. But when he's in the game, he makes plays, and he's a factor in the game when he's in the game. So, you know, that's why I was actually hiring him from the very beginning of the season. And you know, when they of course brought in Matt Forte, it's great to have a guy like that on your team. But I just didn't feel that Matt Forte needed to have, like in the Buffalo game, 30 carries. You know, what was it, 50-something carries in 4 days?
57 carries, man, in 2 years.
In 4 days. So he didn't really,
Ridiculous.
that was kind of
We were saying that then.
yeah, that was an icon of what was going on for the season. And now you see Powell is that guy, and he can be that guy because he's a difference maker. There's a few that are out there, but it just wasn't, for whatever reason, it just wasn't in plans from the very beginning of the season. And you know, that's why the team is in this position that they're in right now.
Can we get a tight end? Can we get a fullback? Can we make a first down on 3rd and 1? I mean, can we make a first down on 3rd and 1? If we go back in the film this year and we look at how many times that they lined up with a empty backfield or a single back and having 4 wide receivers, it was like dry. You just go, what is happening? What is going on?
The problem is they put too much confidence in Fitz. That was the problem. It was
That
just
too.
too much confidence in him because
That too.
of the way he played last year. But for the most part,
He shit the bed.
everybody knew that he was going to go
let's
back
call
to.
he shit the bed.
Oh,
I mean,
agree.
he single-handed. He shit the bed. Mo Wilkerson shit the bed. Revis shit the bed. Calvin Pryor shit the bed.
Who did?
No, but I mean, these are cogs. These were cogs before the season started. We didn't know Eric Decker was going to go down. That was a killer.
Yeah.
That was a killer. All right? Mangold was banged up a lot of the year.
He
All
was.
right? And we're talking about, those are the monsters. That's where you're basing your team on.
And I think
You're
that's what
basing
the,
your team on there. So you basically, now what?
That's where the confidence was.
Now
at the very
what?
beginning of the
Now
season.
you
And
gotta,
that was
now
gone.
you gotta go out and, you know, it's gonna be a lot of things. There's gonna be released. There's gonna be guys released. A bunch of them.
Yeah. Obviously, there's going to be huge changes coming up. But
Huge changes.
looking at the last 2 games, are there any certain players that you want to see start to get on the field? I know Devin Smith definitely stands out for me. I'd love to see this guy finally get on the field a little bit. I'd still love to see a little bit more Justin Burris. Who do you want to see over these last 2 weeks step up? And what kind of changes maybe do you want to see in the coaching staff with the way they either call games or call plays? What do you want to see over these last 2 weeks?
I actually want to see the games called to give guys a chance to make plays. I don't want to see, you know, the BS conservative type play calls right now because it's not necessary. So the guys, I understand that everything goes on film and coaches want to see certain little things in every aspect of the game, but you need the way the season is right now. These last 2, they just need to let, you know, everything just flow in the wind. If Petty's going to be the quarterback, they're trying to see if Petty's the quarterback. Let him go. You know, take the reins off and just let him go. Put the guys in the game, like you just said. Devin Smith, really don't know too much of anything that he can do because then he's been healthy for the last couple of weeks and they're not playing. So, and that honestly makes no sense. You know, Brandon is going to be playing, of course, and the rest of the young guys, Robbie and Quincy, are going to be playing. But Devin should be in the lineup to see if actually he can make plays. And like you said, Burris, a lot of the younger guys on defense, get those guys in the game. Call defenses to see what these guys can do. The outcome of the game right now means nothing. So if these guys lose, who cares? Let the reins off and let these guys just go out there and make plays and see if they can make plays in prime time. And if they can, build on that towards next year. That's basically what I want to see. I don't want to see the conservative offensive game planning, you know, BS right now.
I tell you, the guy we haven't mentioned is Simon.
True.
Nose tackle. He's making some plays.
He is.
Yeah, there's a homegrown guy. You know, there's definitely. I'm not down on the complete team because I do see some staples that I like for this team, that for the future, that I think we're going to have. So I don't believe that the cupboard is bare. I don't, there's no way I believe that. I think on both sides of the ball, I think on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, you got some young guys, young talent. You got Simon on defense with Leonard Williams. You got the kid Lee. You got Jenkins on the outside. Looks nice. Burris looks pretty good. Looks like he's going to be a player there. I'm trying to think.
Marcus Williams.
Marcus Williams, he's been thinked up. I still like Marcus. I still like Marcus Williams. I think you got to get some safeties.
Yeah.
I don't know what's with Calvin Pryor. What bothers the hell out of me is Landon Collins can dominate in the league. They play the same position. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, I understand the Giant defenses come together, but they just came together. They're only 1 year. They're not even a year.
They were horrible
I mean,
last year.
they're not even a year together. So, it just bothers me. I just want to know, are you in, I just wonder, I'd like to be in Calvin Pryor's brain because I really had big thoughts on him. And I just wonder, is he really putting the time in? Is he really putting the time in? Or are they not putting him in a position to make plays? But when you can't read and you're constantly getting beat, I mean, something ain't right.
I think part of it is actually he's been out of position. I think that's part of it. We saw that early in the year where he's looking over his shoulder like, okay, where is the next person supposed to be? He's in the right spot, but it makes it look bad on him when somebody runs right by him. And then later on in the season, I can say part of it he wasn't giving total 100%.
Well, how about that run with Jarvis Landry?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He couldn't have tackled him at the 10 or the 12? No dive? What happened? No dive?
That's part of it. But
I got a woman telling me that. She goes, he could have tackled him. I got a woman telling me that, sitting next to me going, he should have tackled him. I said, I think he should have tackled him. Yeah, I would agree with that.
And
that's what you call quitting.
Not giving 100%.
Not giving 100%.
On all this.
But there are some good things. Like we said, there are some positives to go. Number one, I thought Petty, like I said, Petty showed some advancement in a couple. We're going to see. I mean, he's got a tough spot here. I mean, the Patriots once again are rolling. Yeah. Their defense is starting to roll. They never talk about their defense, but they just, because of Brady. Yeah. But they are something else. That whole
they're coming around at the right time.
They're
coming around at the right time.
What's going on up there is unbelievable.
But it's going to be a good test. And if Petty can actually hang in there,
that'd be nice,
and keep the team in the game, it will be.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
And that'll be and actually
we'll be excited about it.
It would be hilarious if it actually pulled out a victory, but
I expect them to keep it close. They played the past tough the first time.
It's a division game.
Get up for this game, absolutely.
It's a division game. You're always going to play, no matter what the records, you're always going to play your division opponents pretty tight for the most part because you know the team so well. Coaches know the team so well, so you can pretty much game plan for whatever the other team is going to do on both sides of the ball. Again, hopefully Petty goes out and shows that he's learning each week. He's going to see different looks this week, and if he shows in this game that he was in film study and picked up on the reads that he needs to pick up, that's a good positive thing going forward. So we'll see. But again, I hope Changi takes the reins off and just lets him go and play, and then we'll see what happens.
All right, we're joined in studio right now by a very, very special guest. The man who, if you were awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, tweeted the Sheldon Richardson video. We call him the Snap Rat. Can you show everybody your phone really quick?
This is proof that it was me.
That's the phone he actually decided to put it on, by the way.
Yep.
Complete joke, but that's beside the point. Hey, so what was going through your mind at first when you saw that video?
Well, I didn't expect any of this at first. I recorded the video just to show my friends because I saw the Snapchat. I was like, oh my God, did he just say that? So I just recorded it to show my friends because I said, I can't believe he said this. So I recorded it off my sister's phone and I put it into my group chat. It was late at night. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was just bored on my phone. And I said, oh, let me send this to my friend Jason. So I sent it to him and I went to bed. Just a normal night, didn't think much of it. And
you didn't realize what was going to happen when you sent it to Jason?
No idea. And I woke up the next morning about 11 o'clock and I had about 50 notifications on Twitter. And I thought, like, oh, maybe just the fans will see it. It's not a big deal. Like, people might think it's funny or whatever. And then it got into the hands of the media, and I saw a press conference, and they mentioned it to Bulls, and I just said, oh, my God, what did I just cause here? What did I was like, oof.
Firestorm heard around the world.
Yes.
Literally around the world.
Yeah.
From a recording at 2 o'clock in the morning to a whole week's worth of craziness, man.
So,
Craziness.
in your opinion, did he say F this game or F this guy?
Well, I could hear both.
No, there's no both.
Okay.
What did he say?
Well, I think he said guy. I truly think he said guy. As you could see in the Snapchat, he was kind of looking towards Rontez, and me just hoping. I just think he said guy. I think he said guy.
That's all he said. He didn't say game. I mean, if you just look at the whole thing, not just the words. If you actually watch the Snapchat and the way it went down, he said F this guy because he actually turned the camera to him and said F this guy. But it got cut off right at guy, so it sounded like game. He was talking about Rontez. So
His lips came together. He said game.
Nah.
F this game. He didn't care about it.
That's craziness right there. He actually was having a little fun long before the game was actually even going to start. You could see there was hardly anybody in the locker room. There was nothing really going on. He was probably on the first bus going over to the stadium, so he's there early. These guys are just walking in, and he's on Rontez's Snapchat, man. It's just, he said F this guy, and that was it. But once the word game was put in there, and then the firestorm was started, it went out of control. And as I was saying to you guys, I rolled over 3 o'clock in the morning. I saw it. First person I see is Jay, and I'm like, this guy's starting trouble, man. I'm like, nah, I'm not even going to listen to the audio. So I just closed my phone. I let it go. 4 or 5 hours later, I look again, and I'm like, holy cow, this thing's like going around Twitter all over the place. I'm like, every media outlet has this Snapchat. Okay, I'm going to listen to it now. Let me listen to see what he says. So, of course, everybody has Sheldon Richardson says F this game in pregame, and I'm like, this dude really didn't say that. He didn't say that at all. So the firestorm was started.
He did say where them hoes at though.
Yeah, he did. he did say. He said gang in this bit where them hoes at, and then F this guy. But yeah, you can't. I'm not denying that he said where the hoes at. He did say that. But F this guy, not the game.
What a disaster that we're even talking about.
And that's where we're at right now in
Welcome to the Jets
season
2016
of
season
2016, and where we are right now in the Jets season. I think.
So how are you dealing with your newfound fame?
Honestly, if I knew this all was going to happen, I would have not tweeted it out. Rontez is currently blocked me on Snapchat, which doesn't surprise me. But
I'm blocking Rontez. Come on, he's a good kid.
You didn't mean it.
No, I didn't mean it. I love this team, and I feel bad that because of me, there's a distraction in the locker room. And
it's not because of you. There's many other layers to this.
There was a lot of
you,
things
man.
going on. This was just the actual cherry on top of basically the 2016 season. That's basically what it is.
So Drew, man, I gotta say, I'm proud of you, buddy.
Thank you.
You're a media superstar, and you sent it to the right account first.
Yes.
Because you know what happens when you send it to our account. That's just what goes down. We got a lot of popularity, and then all the beat writers jump on. They're tuned in our account. So I would say DM it to us next time. We'll keep you out of it.
Yes, next time definitely DM it. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to cause all this trouble, but yes, next time if anything happens, I will DM it to you.
I actually don't even do that, man.
Yeah, actually don't. I was thinking that in my head.
I mean, you are speaking to the man that got Idzik fired, the man that caused this entire mess. That's what all the writers are saying.
That's what I heard all day today. That this season's my fault. The Idzik thing is my fault. Idzik had a plan. Sheldon said guy. He said game, by the way.
Thank you. He said it.
He's a guy, man.
Listen, we got two guys up here that
It's like the
say
second
games.
spinner.
Who say guy. Look, whatever you said. I personally found the video funny, to be honest. I wasn't necessarily offended by it. It's just hearing his explanation for it afterwards. That he didn't realize he was putting it public. He was trying to send it to one guy. I can see how that mistake can be made. But when the video first came out, it was See, the thing is that right after these games, you're angry with the stuff you see. You went out on a freezing cold, terrible weather game. The lot's not plowed. You didn't get into tailgates on time. You get into the stadium. They come out. They look okay, and then they look ridiculous after that. They wind up getting. The second half was absurd. Then you come home and you see Sheldon Richardson in what, in a video that he posted before the game that we thought said F this game. And, you could see how, the emotions get going because you're like, F this game, F you, dude. We just paid all that money to go out and watch that disaster, and then we come home and watch that video. So I can see both sides of it. I think it was overblown, but,
And then
it was
Sheldon
funny.
Richardson wakes up the next morning like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Sheldon's like, I'm just trying to say gang, gang in this bitch.
That's all I'm saying.
Where the hose at,
He
though?
was having a little Snapchat fun, and then all of a sudden he's in a firestorm the next day, and he doesn't even know what's going on.
But I'm going to say this, though. One thing I didn't like about this situation, and I wanted to bring it up, that's why I got behind, on this side of the camera right now. I did not like his response, to be honest. Because, I think that when he came out afterwards and he said, he came out in the media and he said he doesn't regret anything except getting out there, not really the right PR move to take. It's like, and then also he never denied that he said game. So to me, it's like, if you didn't say game, just say, listen, I said guy. He said it doesn't matter what I said because, it was a joke. But that's not really true. I mean, if you said game, that's going to make a lot of the paying customers that are paying money to go see you play, if they're saying F this game before the game, that's going to make them upset. So you should have I think he should have clarified that. No, why wouldn't he say, listen, I didn't
Once
say
he
game?
was out there, it wasn't going to matter what he said to clarify anything. Honestly,
You don't think it made it sound worse, though?
Because we all know it's not going to matter. The firestorm had already started. Everything was there. It didn't matter what Bowles said. If McCagnon said anything, if Woody Johnson would have said something, it wouldn't matter because everything was already out there. This guy was actually waking up the next morning, not realizing that had gone on. So to probably come into the facility and have cameras thrust on you saying you said such and such, and he's like, what? He's probably like, what's going on, man? So
He's probably looking for Snap Rat,
Yeah.
bro. He's probably trying to get an
That's what I
actress.
said.
it wouldn't have mattered. Anything that he said, to make it seem like he felt, a little remorseful. But it's just today's athlete, man. You just got to go with it. It is what it is.
Sheldon, Snap Rat knows where the hose are at, man. So he'll make good by you, man. Just go give him a call. He'll apologize. You guys will go out, have a good time.
Yeah.
So transitioning off the Snap Rat, I hear there's a couple of beat reporters that you have a little bit of an issue with, calling you out for the Idzik stuff, calling you out for the mess that's going on in the season right now. Give me your side of it.
Well, I mean, I find that ridiculous because at the end of the day, fire John Idzik was not me. It was thousands of fans all across the world that were, that we organized. We had an opinion. They shared the opinion. All we did was basically form one big group of people, and we represented them in a way that they, feel like they were properly represented. We just wanted to get our opinion out there. And, sometimes on Twitter, you can just tweet all day about, people, some of the people who have a problem with the stuff that we did wrote articles that John Idzik should be fired.
Of course, yeah.
So to me, it's like, why is it okay for you to write an article that John Idzik should be fired, but if we're fans and we put it out there in a more creative way that gets, that gets, seen.
Fans who actually pay for a PSL and
Right.
get nothing in return also.
And then they have a problem that we spent money on it. Well, you know what? We also used a lot of that, some of the excess money that, to for charity, it's started what this is right here. It's fans getting together, voicing their opinions. It started a great website. College kids, high school kids are involved. People that wouldn't necessarily have a platform to get their creativity out there. And, to blame us for what's gone on this season, we didn't draft players. We didn't sign players. We didn't pick the next GM. We didn't pick the next coach. All we did was we got an opinion out there that John Idzik sucked. And quite frankly, John Idzik sucked. So, I mean, it's like, I fail to see how we should accept any
You
blame.
didn't allow him to see his plan through.
He didn't have a plan. His
No,
plan.
he had a plan. You didn't let him see it through.
Look, I have a plan to go out tonight and win $1 million in the lottery. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, man. I'm just going to go buy a lottery ticket, but the odds are it ain't going to come true, man. It's like John Idzik had a plan. Fine. Well, if his plan was drafting guys that are no longer in the NFL 2 years later and signing ridiculous contracts and all that stuff, he accomplished that plan. And his plan ain't going over so well in Jacksonville. I mean, I know he's not the GM down there, but everybody was trying to give him credit for some of the signings before the season started. That he's doing such a great job in Jacksonville. Well, that coaching staff just got fired. So I mean, let's kind of relax with the John Idzik had a plan stuff. It's silly and it's nonsense. And if you want to blame us, fine, you can go ahead and do that, but that's going to make you look more silly. Oh, and by the way, Chris, Nimbly, THEY''RE is they are, okay? You can't say they are in that sentence. It made no sense. And the fact that you doubled down on it, you need an editor, buddy. Sorry.
Good shit.
It is what it is.
All right, so that's going to do it for another episode of NYJF TV. Obviously, with the holidays coming up, we just want to take the time to wish everybody a happy holiday and a happy new year. We've appreciated your support so much throughout 2016. I know it's been a pretty awful year for the Jets, but your support has made it all worthwhile. So thank you guys so much.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Hang in there, Jet fans.
Yeah, man.
Hang in there. We've been down this road before.
Talk about there the best of times and the worst of times.
Better
Worst of
times
right
are
now,
ahead.
but
Worst of times right now. I can't do anything but get better.
it'll all pay off, man. One of these days, it's funny, like what you were saying before, Rob. I was thinking about this about the holidays. When things are going bad, man, things just go haywire. Things just go crazy, and
especially in this market.
And and things like Sheldon, Snapchat, and all that stuff. It gets blown up and blown out of proportion. Well, let's all try and keep in mind, Jet fans. We're all part of the same team here. When the Jets win the Super Bowl, and it'll happen in our lifetime, we'll all be cheering just the same. We'll all be friends. So let's definitely
maybe in your
try and keep the
lifetime.
big picture in mind.
What about mine?
Let's hope it. Let's hope it.
Come on.
Keep a little hope it.
I'm hoping.
It's the holiday season right now.
I'm hoping.
Fireman Ed says.
I'm hoping.
Season's greetings, Jet
Season's
fans.
greetings, happy holidays, all that good
holidays.
stuff.
Enjoy.
See you guys again.
Do Hooters girls make your beer stay colder and your wings taste better? Do they make the greatest month of football ever even greater? Yes. Yes, they do.